We need to talk about what's happening with Resident Evil Requiem right now, because this is one of those moments that tells you everything you need to know about a game's launch before the sales numbers even drop. Less than 2 days before release, physical copies of Resident Evil Requiem are sold out across nearly every major retailer in the United States. Not low stock, not limited availability, sold out. And that includes the biggest names in retail: Walmart, GameStop, and Amazon. When you see that kind of retail blackout this close to launch, especially in an era dominated by digital purchases, that's not just strong demand, that's a statement. What makes this even more significant is that it's not happening on just one platform. Physical editions are sold out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and the Nintendo Switch 2. That kind of cross-platform sellout indicates broad appeal, not niche enthusiasm. It means this isn't just PlayStation diehards or just Xbox loyalists driving demand. This is franchise-wide momentum spanning the entire console ecosystem. To really understand why this matters, you have to zoom out and look at the larger industry context. Physical game sales have been declining for years as digital storefronts become more convenient and often more aggressively discounted. Day one digital preloads, instant access, and subscription ecosystems have reshaped consumer habits. So when a major AAA release completely clears out physical inventory before launch, that's not standard behavior anymore. That's exceptional behavior. It suggests collectors, longtime fans, and even mainstream buyers made a deliberate choice to secure a boxed copy ahead of time. That speaks to brand strength. And that brand strength has been building steadily for years. According to industry analyst Matt Piscatella from Circana, when looking at upcoming US releases, Resident Evil Requiem currently ranks number 2 in terms of purchase intent, anticipation, and engagement. Number 2. The only title ahead of it is Grand Theft Auto 6. Think about that comparison for a second. Grand Theft Auto 6 is arguably the most anticipated entertainment product of the decade, not just in gaming, but across media. For Resident Evil Requiem to sit directly behind it in consumer anticipation metrics says a lot about where this franchise stands today. Piscatella pointed to the franchise's recent momentum as a major factor in that ranking. The success of Resident Evil Village, combined with Capcom's string of well-received remakes, has rebuilt and even expanded the brand's audience. Resident Evil Village demonstrated that the series could blend action and horror in a way that appealed to both longtime fans and newer players. Meanwhile, the remakes reinforced the legacy of the franchise while modernizing it for contemporary audiences. That combination of nostalgia and forward momentum created a feedback loop of goodwill, and now Requiem appears to be capitalizing on that goodwill in a major way. What's particularly interesting is that even Piscatella admitted Requiem is performing a little bit stronger than he anticipated. When the industry analyst whose job is to track consumer trends says a major franchise is exceeding expectations, that's not casual commentary. That suggests the data, pre-orders, engagement, surveys is showing unusually strong signals. High purchase intent typically translates into a larger day one audience, and the physical sellouts we're seeing are tangible evidence of that translation happening in real time. But it's not just retail momentum driving this narrative. On PC, the story is just as impressive. Resident Evil Requiem is currently one of the most wishlisted titles on Steam, and Capcom confirmed earlier this month that the game surpassed 5 million wishlists. 5 million users actively signaling purchase interest on a single platform is enormous. Wishlists aren't sales, but historically they are a strong predictor of launch performance, especially for major franchises. When you combine that digital anticipation with sold-out physical inventory, you're looking at demand on both sides of the market, physical and digital, converging at the same time. There's also a psychological component at play here. When consumers see a product selling out before launch, it creates urgency. Scarcity drives attention. Even players who were on the fence might now feel compelled to jump in before stock becomes harder to find. That doesn't mean Capcom manufactured artificial scarcity. Rather, it suggests retailers allocated inventory based on projections that may have underestimated demand. If anything, the sellouts hint that the forecasting models didn't fully account for just how strong this launch window would be. We should also acknowledge what this says about the survival horror genre as a whole. There was a time when survival horror was considered niche compared to open-world action games or multiplayer live service titles. But over the past several years, horror has experienced a resurgence. Resident Evil has been at the forefront of that resurgence, proving that atmospheric, narrative-driven horror can coexist and compete with blockbuster franchises. The fact that Requiem is tracking just behind Grand Theft Auto 6 in the anticipation metrics reinforces the idea that horror is no longer a side category, it's mainstream. The timing is also important. Resident Evil Requiem launches globally on February 27, 2026 across PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, Nintendo Switch 2, and Windows PC. A simultaneous multi-platform release maximizes reach, and the broad sellout suggests that Capcom's cross-platform strategy is paying off. There's no single lead platform carrying the weight here. Instead, demand appears evenly distributed, which strengthens the overall launch profile. Now, does sold out physical stock automatically guarantee record breaking sales? Not necessarily. Digital purchases make up a substantial portion of modern sales figures, and we won't know the full picture until official numbers are released. But when you combine retail sellouts, top tier anticipation rankings, 5 million Steam wishlist, and a franchise riding years of positive momentum, all indicators point toward a massive debut. Even if it doesn't break franchise records immediately, it's positioned to deliver one of the strongest launches in recent series history. Ultimately, what we're witnessing isn't just a game selling well before release. It's the culmination of strategic brand rebuilding. Capcom spent years refining the Resident Evil formula, listening to fan feedback, modernizing gameplay systems, and balancing nostalgia with innovation. Requiem's early demand suggests that investment is paying dividends. It signals trust, and in today's gaming market, trust is currency. If you're planning to pick up Resident Evil Requiem, let me know whether you're going physical or digital and whether you managed to secure a copy before retailers sold out. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. If you want to support the channel even further, check out my Patreon in the video description, where the latest exclusive is the rise and fall of the Sega Dreamcast. Until next time, game on.